Welcome. This is Dr. Jameela Gator, the Total Life Change Doctor, and I'm here today to tell you about one of TLC's most amazing products, the HCG drops. So, many of you may have heard of HCG because it was a craze probably about 3 or 4 years ago in terms of weight loss, and it helped tons of people lose lots and lots of pounds. But somehow it disappeared from the marketplace, and that was because the FDA stepped in and started regulating HCG. But now it is back, and it is available to you if you are a TLC rep. So what I'd like to do is give you a little bit of information about it so that you've got some product knowledge and can tell people about the product and sell it more effectively. So HCG stands for human chorionic gonadotropin. It's known as the pregnancy hormone, and that's the hormone that we check to see if women are pregnant. However, both men and women have HCG naturally in their bodies. And what this hormone does is it basically helps to regulate your metabolism, helps to go to the brain, tell your body that you're full so that you don't have an appetite very much, and helps you to burn fat. And that's what's so amazing about this compound. So HCG was actually really looked at as a diet aid back in the 1950s by an Italian endocrinologist named Dr. Simians. And endocrinology is someone who is an expert in the hormones of your body. And he actually started using these hormones in young boys that had a disorder called Willer-Proddy syndrome. And what he found was when he administered the HCG hormone that the young boys weren't hungry, they lost weight, but not only did they lose pounds, they lost inches. Their body actually burned the fat stores, and they were able to not only lose the weight, but to mobilize the fat and burn the fat from their bodies. What's so great about TLC's HCG product is it is manufactured in an FDA-approved lab, and it also has 3 key amino acids: L-ornithine, N-acetylcysteine, and L-arginine. And why that's so important is because those amino acids help your body to build muscle. So not only do you have a product that helps you burn fat, but it also helps you to build muscle. And that's what's so great about it. So let's talk a little bit about HCG and the HCG diet and how it works. For the best results, it's typically paired with what's called a very low calorie diet. And that means calories anywhere between 500 and 750 calories a day. When we look at Simian's protocol of what he used when he actually studied HCG, there were very specific foods that he studied in conjunction with the HCG. So typically, we recommend that people follow that protocol most strictly. And what that usually looks like is, if you're a woman, 4 ounces of protein twice a day, along with 1 cup of vegetables twice a day, along with a fruit, small portion, twice a day. And then as much water as you can drink, but typically half your body weight in ounces. And so let's break that down a little bit because there are only specific types of proteins, vegetables, and fruits that were recommended on this diet. Fruits typically recommended are strawberries, oranges, apples, and grapefruits. And basically 1 portion or 1 serving size, so that's going to be 1 cup of strawberries, 1 small orange. Apples are also okay, 1 small apple. And you can have that twice a day. Next thing that's recommended are your vegetables. And you're going to be looking at mostly green leafy vegetables, vegetables that are low in sugar. So you're talking about greens, broccoli, green beans, kale. You can have salads, spinach. And those are mostly the recommended vegetables for the HCG diet. What else can you have? You can have the protein. So you can have lean chicken, fish, mostly white fish, not a lot of oily fish, so salmon is not really allowed on the diet, but most of your white flaky fish like tilapia, shrimp is allowed. Your other proteins, lean ground beef, ground turkey, those are also allowed on the diet. One of the things you want to stay away from is the dark meat and the wings because that has a lot of fat in it. The other thing that's very important or key to the diet with folks that are doing HCG is that we eliminate the oils. What we want is for you to go to your body and burn those fat stores and liberate your oils that way. So with HCG, you can use a little bit of PAM cooking spray, but we don't want people to have butter, margarine, oils. Even the salad dressings need to be oil-free while you're doing the HCG diet. So that's a little bit about the diet. Let's talk a little bit more about the specifics of the HCG diet and how the TLC drops work with it. So what you want to do typically before the diet is I recommend that people do a detox, meaning that they eliminate the processed foods, the alcohol, the fast foods, all the things that really aren't good for you and that it's going to be hard to let go of when you're on the diet. Because once you go so restrictive, you really don't want to have any of those things. You don't want to cheat. It will actually stall your weight loss for a couple of days. So you want to make sure for at least a week or two before you go ahead and start the very restrictive low-calorie diet that you're eliminating all of those things from your diet. The next thing is what's called the next phase of the diet, which is the loading phase. So you're going to start your drops on days 1 and 2, and you're also going to load on those days. And on those days, you can actually eat whatever you want. You can eat up to 4,000 calories, all of, the wonderful things that you're not going to be able to eat for those couple of weeks while you're doing the HCG. You can have those on your load days. You want to eat things that are high in fat. And what this basically does is it basically goes to the brain, the area of the brain called the hypothalamus, and that's the center that gauges whether your body is starving or not, and it controls your metabolism. When your body thinks that you're starving, it slows the metabolism down. So when you're doing your load days, what it's saying is it's sending a message to the brain that you're not starving, that there's plenty of food around, and while you're taking the HCG, it basically just puts your body into that fat burning mode. Most folks will then go to the HCG, the very low calorie diet, for either 23 days or 40 days. And after that point, your body gets immune to HCG. So it's very important that you'll have to then come off of the drops or your HCG program for at least 6 weeks. So while you're doing the diet, 23 days or 40 days, you've got the approved list of foods, and then you basically make it through that. And then once you finish that phase, you're going to go into the transition phase. Transition phase, you're basically going to increase your calories to 1,200 calories. And at that point, you can add back oils, but you're still going to continue to restrict your carbs. You can also have about a half a glass of wine every night or every other night if you'd like to in the transition phase. You're going to stay in that phase for 3 to 6 weeks, and then you can go more or less into phase 4, which is kind of like regular eating. You still want to try to eat clean, eat healthy, and not go crazy, but this then will help you to maintain your weight loss. There's a few tricks throughout the HCG diet. One of the tricks is that if you're not losing weight consistently, because on this diet you really should be losing about a half a pound to a pound a day. That's why this diet and these drops are like no other, because folks can lose 30 pounds in 30 days. They can lose, if you're doing a little bit longer of a regimen, some people have lost as many as 40 pounds throughout an HCG course. And that's why it's so powerful. So there's a few tricks that we use throughout the diet. One is called an apple day. And an apple day is used during a stall period of time. Because really with the HCG diet, you should be losing a half a pound to a pound a day every single day. That's why this diet is so powerful. People can lose up to 30 and 40 pounds in just one course of the HCG. So if you're experiencing a situation where a couple of days have gone by and you've hit a plateau and you're not losing any weight, then that's when you do what's called an apple day. And you typically eat an apple. You can eat either the same variety or different varieties, typically 6 apples throughout a whole day's period of time. And then typically you will see that the next day the weight will start to drop again. One of the other tricks that is popular with the HCG diet is during that transition phase or that maintenance phase, where you basically do what's called a steak day. So if you're starting to gain some weight back, most of that weight is typically going to be water weight, especially if you catch it early. So if you've gained a couple of pounds, 2, 3, 4 pounds back, and you want to drop it quickly, then basically what you want to do is do a steak day. And typically what you do is you eat 16 ounces of steak throughout the whole day and 1 tomato. It can either be raw or broiled, and that's all you eat for the entire day. And that's called a steak day. So wanted to give you, just the tips and tricks of the HCG diet. Last couple of things. Exercise. I get this a lot. We typically recommend that people do not exercise during the HCG diet. And the reason is because your calories are so low, then if you go and try to burn more calories, you're not only going to feel bad, but you may pass out, you may hurt yourself. So exercise is really not recommended during your HCG regimens. And then, like we said, you can do the regimen for your 23 or your 40-day course. You're going to take 6 weeks off at minimum, and then you can actually do another round of HCG if you have more weight to lose, 23 or 40 days. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you have learned a lot about the HCG drops and how to compare them with a very low calorie diet, and how to effectively tell your clients about this product. This is Dr. Jameelah Gator, the Total Life Change Doctor with Team Global TCG. Now, stay tuned for my next video. We're going to talk about the latest TLC product that's absolutely amazing for weight loss. It's called Resolution, and there's not a lot of information out there about this product, so you guys are going to be at the edge of your seats to hear what I have to say so you can learn everything about it.